One aspect of this channel is I'm taking you behind the scenes as I grow accessible.org and just telling you what clients are looking for and giving you insight into the business side of digital accessibility. So on the screen, I have from 2 months ago a video update accessible.org growing fast, VPAT's European Accessibility Act in demand. And at that point, we were growing so fast that I was lining up additional contractors because I was anticipating just not having the capacity to fulfill all of the orders that we were getting. And starting in August, at the beginning of August, the sales have flatlined. Now, the leads haven't, but I have not had clients that have actually signed contracts and paid. What's happening is we're in a lot of discussions, so a lot of ongoing discussions with no real urgency on the part of the client, but no clients are actually making purchases right now. And I don't have an explanation for this because even if, like, just say the sales were seasonal or different organizations were waiting on budgets, it still wouldn't account for the various website owners who just want to reduce their risk of being sued. And so they're seeking out audits. So for sales to completely flatline does not make any sense, especially given the trajectory and just how fast we were closing clients every week. So I'm going to tab now to a document that I have titled August Anomaly. And by the way, to start off with, I don't think this has anything to do with the broader economy. I think this really is just a deviation from the norm that is happening. It is quite literally an anomaly. And so right now, the leads are moderately down. So I'm not getting as many leads as I was, but the sales are way down. And so one thing I looked into because I really could not, as this was happening, as this like we were a few weeks in, and I was like, what's going on here? Because usually there are more people emailing me, and this is, they're just the sales are happening daily where they're just coming in and we're signing agreements and payments being made, etc. So I looked into the to my actual email configuration because I did update my domain name servers, and I can't remember the exact reason why, but I updated them, and I think that actually did um, change the email configuration to where my email was faulty. I wasn't sending and or receiving correctly, so I was still getting some emails, but I think there was something off. But even with that being the case, and this could have lasted no more than a week. Even if what this was the case, it still does not explain the current state of sales. Also, what's happening is I am receiving leads and I'm not getting replies. So there have been many times that I have, and by the way, this is with no outreach. This isn't with me emailing clients. Clients are emailing me. I'm responding to them and I'm not getting a reply. And it's important to note here that nothing has changed. So it's not like I'm writing back clients with a new email signature. There's nothing changed about how I approach this. The only thing that's changing is now clients are not emailing me back. And so that's what I have here. The only thing that has changed are the results. But I am in discussions with several organizations, and um, there are several larger contracts that are in play that I think will happen. It's just that the organizations that I'm in discussions with, they're not they're not really there's not a sense of urgency, and there's also the process that is playing out on their end. On our end, everything goes by really quickly, but for a lot of organizations, they have to take steps, and there are just things they have to do before they can close a contract. So it's not as simple as we want services, we pay for services. We've got to go through all of these different um, checkpoints, steps, whatever the case is. So I wanted to cover this because this is what's happening right now, and this is the other side of business ownership. And I can't explain it. I do not have a any this I don't have any explanation. As you can tell, I'm not even coming up with words to explain what is happening. I simply do not know why the trajectory hasn't continued. I do expect this to be like somewhat of a rubber band effect, where just think about how with the rubber band, when you pull back, eventually it snaps back and it goes the other way. And I think that's what's happening here. It really is an anomaly where right now there's just been a dip and it's an unexplained one. There could be some plausible explanations, but they could also just be theories that are thrown out because of what the results are. But I think what's going to end up happening is we'll see a much bigger month in maybe just starting now in the second half of September, and then October, we will see bigger and bigger months. So, and by the way, with digital accessibility, I think this is only the beginning. I think the current level of sales is going to be far exceeded in late 2025 and especially Q1, Q2 of 2026. There are still many organizations, there are still many companies who are not compliant with the European Accessibility Act. There are many organizations, state and local governments, and their instrumentalities that are just now getting started with ADA Title II compliance, and there is so much more in play as well. So, again, this is only the beginning, but this is the other side of having a digital accessibility company in the space, right? We're seeing who comes in, and you can't, if the clients aren't ready to close, then they're not ready to close. And so this is the other side of it. And I wanted to present this. I did not expect this to happen at all, because the way sales were going, like I said, my concern was not that there would be a decline in sales. My concern was that I need to have more and more contractors on standby, so that if when this happens, when this tsunami of demand happens, that I'm able to fulfill it. So that's what I was planning for, and then the opposite has happened. But I do expect this to turn around. But I did want to share this update because this is what is happening with accessible.org. I don't think this will continue. I think we'll start to close, and then there may be something to just the momentum of this, because as of now, this doesn't make any sense. But this is the way it is going. But I do think it will change, and I think it will change dramatically.